Okay, the third evangelism reality I wanted to share with you. Being a person of spiritual influence is every Christian's calling, not just the call of a select few. Being a person of spiritual influence is every Christian's calling, not just the call of a select few. Several years ago, in some research that he did, George Barna, who I'm sure most, if not all of you, are familiar with, did a survey in which he identified something he calls the Great Spiritual Chasm. He said that of the people who don't attend church and don't profess to have a relationship with Christ, over 2/3 of them want to experience God in a deeper, more tangible, more significant way, but they aren't turning to the church for help. He said something like 70% of people who aren't in church say that they have a spiritual need, and yet one of the last places they turn to for help is the church. And he points out the tragedy that is. In the church, we believe that in Christ we have the answer. And yet here are people with deep spiritual needs that they've identified, and yet the last place they'd come for help, one of the last places, is the church. And so he talks about how we can bridge that chasm. And I would just say to you that I believe each of us, as people of influence with people who don't know Christ, have the opportunity to bridge that chasm so that people get a better look at Jesus Christ. Bill Crafton has a quote that I really like. He said, "It's great to be the last link in the chain," i.e. the person who leads someone into a relationship with Christ, "but it's not more important than any other link. We just need to make sure we're not the missing link." I like that a lot. We'd all love to be people who have the opportunity to lead someone into a relationship with Christ. That's an exciting thing. But the important thing is that each of us play our role in helping people progress along that path. And sociologists, Christian sociologists who study this kind of thing, say that it now takes from somewhere from 19 to 27 good hearings or introductions to Jesus before someone's ready to make that decision. Back in the 1950s or so, it used to be that somebody only needed a couple of hearings because they were kind of steeped in Christianity. At least if they hadn't taken the step of committing themselves to it, they at least knew about it. Well, today that's not the case. It could take up to 27 times for someone to have the gospel presented to them before they're ready to take that step of making a commitment. Fourth evangelism reality. The workplace, or our community, is the strategic place of ministry for most Christians. One of the things I'm most passionate about having people in our church embrace is the fact that they have an opportunity to share Christ's faith wherever they are. That their workplace, their neighborhood, the gym where they work out, the school where they attend, those are all mission fields where they have an opportunity to share Christ's love. The 19th century Dutch theologian and prime minister Abraham Kuyper said this. He said, "There's not one square inch of the entire creation about which Jesus Christ does not cry out, 'This is mine, this belongs to me.'" And so each of us have an opportunity to reclaim creation for Christ as we shine Christ's love, as we're salt and light with people who don't know Him. Also wanted to point out, just as we talk about this strategic place of ministry being the workplace, that the word vocation, which we associate with a job or employment, originally comes from the Latin word vocare, which means calling. And so even in that idea of our job, our vocation, we have the initial concept that it's a calling. And God has a calling for every one of us. It's not like He calls a select few of us to be pastors or missionaries or Christian counselors, and the rest of us just have to kind of muck through life with a second-class citizenship, just hoping to make our lives count. Every one of us has a calling from God to be His salt and His light. Well, that's all that I have to share with you about evangelism at this point. I just wanted to let you know that throughout this course, if there's things that you feel like we could do to make the course better, I'd be glad to hear about those from you. This is the first time that we've worked with this syllabus, so I'm very open to your suggestions. If you want to contact me, the best way to do that is through my email at home, and that's narniahill@comcast.net. narniahill@comcast.net. If you need to reach me by phone, my cell phone number is 717-497-3979. And so I just want to kind of put that out there for you if you'd like to if you'd like to connect with me throughout this course. In preparing the syllabus, I really tried to whittle it down so that we wouldn't have, it wouldn't be real complicated. And so there are, I believe, 9 lessons, and I've really tried to make it practical. I've been, through the course of my schooling, been through a lot of academic exercises, and at times recognize that they feel like jumping through hoops or cutting through red tape. And I really don't want this course to be that. I want this to be something that's practical, that's really helpful for you as you seek to grow in sharing Christ's love. One of the things that's been really special for me in teaching the course the couple of times that I have is seeing people that have really embraced some of the exercises we have people do in terms of starting a Bible study or connecting with people that don't know Christ, and really seeing them watch people that they love enter a relationship with Christ. I've seen that happen several times throughout the course, and that's always a really special thing. And so my prayer for each of us is that this won't just be a list of things to do, but it'll be really helpful. And so I would just encourage you as we go through the course, as we talk about identifying people to pray for, and planning bridge building events or developing a Bible study with people that don't know Christ, I ask you to really take that seriously and recognize it's not something that you can wait till the very end and do. It's really something you need to begin to start thinking about and doing in the first couple weeks of the course. That'll make it a lot smoother as we move through. So just wanted to share that with you. I'm glad you're taking the course, and I look forward to getting to know you. Take care, and God bless.